What's up, beautiful people? Vlog massive, YouTube massive. We are back. This video and the essence of, well, the vlog will be my spoiler review of I keep saying Captain America, of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 5. But before we get into that, I want to show you this. So this finally came in the post. This is Noctaria, which is a word I can never pronounce, written by Scott Snyder, and I do love Scott Snyder's writing. I loved his work on Animal Man, Swamp Thing, and of course Batman. So I look forward to reading this. Issue 2 is getting sent to me via the post, so hopefully it should be here maybe tomorrow or sometime next week. And the reason I got them online and not in the comic book stores is because the UK was on lockdown, and I couldn't buy any of my comics in the stores. So now the UK is off lockdown, I can go grab my comics, which I'll be doing that later on today. I'll be heading down to Forbidden Planet, sorry. So The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was a very emotional, dramatic, very action-packed and intense emotional episode. I really super enjoyed it. The start of the show was amazing. I mean, the fact that we see John Walker running through, he's going through so much within his mind. He just killed somebody, his friend just died. He doesn't know what's going around him. He just doesn't know who he is or what he's actually doing. And it was a very emotional moment for him, and I was like, I kind of felt it for him. I felt it for him because he was trying to be the best soldier and do what he thought was right, but in that heat of the moment, basically he killed someone. I know everyone's thinking, yeah, Steve Rogers has killed, but the difference between Steve and John Walker, Steve doesn't kill in cold blood. I mean, John Walker just killed out of revenge, and he literally just killed the guy, killed him 100%, and that shield has been detrimented. It's been tainted. So it was quite interesting to see that particular scene. And then we get into the warehouse. We see Sam and Bucky just trying to have dialogue with him, and just give us the shield, man. And then the fight kicked off, and that fight was very intense, and it gave homage and respect to, of course, Captain America Civil War, where we saw Bucky and Steve versus Iron Man. So that was like a flashback and an Easter egg to that particular movie, which was very cool. And I was thinking, imagine how Bucky felt, him having flashbacks to that particular scenario. But it's quite interesting to see that moment where basically they were fighting, because the first thing I was thinking, like I was saying, how's Bucky dealing with this on a mental level? But Bucky was serious. Even though he basically has eliminated the Winter Soldier programming from his mind, he still has that essence of that beast and the capability of killing. That's if he wants to kill. But now basically he's in control of his mind. He's not that killer anymore, but he has that killer instinct, which makes him dangerous, and literally a very dangerous super soldier. So it's nice to see that Bucky has his mind and he's grounded. But that fight that they had was very intense. I mean, it was intense. The way it was choreographed, the way it was shot, the way it was edited, it was amazing. I really loved it. I was like, how are they going to beat this guy? And the way they basically snapped basically his arm was just insane. And they finished him. They double teamed him and they finished him. It was quite interesting. And I've always said, yes, John Walker taking the super soldier serum. He is more stronger because the serum has been tweaked up, right? But in regards to Bucky's more tactical. He's more advanced in combat, which gives him basically an advantage, which is cool. I love that. The fact that he's more skilled, than John Walker and so forth. But in this particular moment, he was going beast mode. The way he was punching that shield, Bucky was like, ugh. It was amazing. And the reason I say skill set is because when we saw in the last episode, the Dora Milaje, when they went up against John Walker, and then was it episode 4? It's episode 4, yeah, in the hotel room, where they floored him. They literally just destroyed him. And that was the fact they were highly skilled and trained. So even though if John Walker basically fought them now with the super soldier serum, I'm 99.9% sure they would take him out, because the agility and the speed supersedes basically John Walker's super soldier serum. But what I really enjoyed about the show was, the fact that we saw near the end of the show, basically Sam and Bucky pretty much put their differences aside and actually became pretty much a team, and that will see their new relationship in the next week's episode. And of course, literally, maybe a season 2 or seeing them again in future MCU movies. Sharon Carter's scene was very interesting when she basically made that phone call and called up that dude, and he went up, linked up with Carly and gave her some very explosive devices in those briefcase. So I was like, is Sharon Carter the power broker, like I was saying possibly on Instagram, on an Instagram post that I made? Is she the power broker? Because she's living very comfortably. She's got a very nice team, security. She's living in a nice big house with stolen artifacts. Like, why is she so comfortable? How what is she up to? Or is she basically setting Carly up for something else? Who knows? But I look forward to seeing what she does, what basically Sharon Carter, who Sharon Carter really is in the next episode. So I really, really enjoyed that. I really just enjoyed, I think the best thing about basically this episode was the fact when they spoke about race. And it was quite interesting to see Isaiah basically and what he went through as a black man of color and how he was treated and so forth. And literally, Sam was like, he was like, having doubts to a degree, because basically, Isaiah said to him, a black man can never be Captain America. And that was very interesting, because that was a very, very powerful moment because it basically is impacting every single person of color who watches this episode, who watches this series. So I like the fact that Marvel always incorporate what's happening in the real world within basically their movies, their TV shows, and so forth. And that, which goes to my next point. I look forward to seeing how Marvel deal with the Miss Marvel show, because Miss Marvel is Marvel's first Islamic Pakistani superhero. So I look forward to seeing how they deal with her Islamic background. But that conversation him and Isaiah had was very emotional. It really basically spoke about Black history. It spoke about basically what Black people have gone through the hundreds of years and so forth, and how things are right now. So Sam was like, yeah, okay, I understand that, but he basically defied the odds and pretty much started training to become basically him. So I think even though basically, he will become Captain America, I still think, even though he has the mantle of Captain America, he's still going to be Sam Wilson and do things how he wants to do it. Not how Captain America basically would do it, but he'll also respect the legacy, the heritage basically of that shield that was passed down to him. So, and of course, that scene where he was training and then Bucky says to him, I'm sorry, something, what he said? He said, I didn't basically know how it would feel if a black person becoming Captain America or being given the shield. And that was pretty much the best moment for me, one of the best lines, because it really just impacts everything that's happening in the real world with people of color. So it's quite interesting to see how politically this episode basically will impact the world, and of course people who read the comics and so forth. So I look forward to seeing in the next episode how people around the world will react when they see, basically, from what I can see, Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie, a black person in a vibranium suit, which I'm assuming it's vibranium because it's come from Wakanda. It's going to have the Captain America logo or shield somewhere, and he's going to be carrying that shield. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how this impacts the whole MCU and the whole comic book universe, because people from Marvel, DC, everyone's going to be like, it's like if basically Clark Kent dies, right, and then for some apparent reason there's a black Superman, like in the multiverse. I think in the multiverse, Superman's identity, I believe he's the president. So it's quite interesting. So that's how it's like. I loved it because as someone of color, I could relate to that particular energy. I've gone through situations of where I couldn't do certain things because I was looked at differently from people. Like, we all go through racism, But for me, it's a thing of when I go through racism, I don't allow it to impact me, because I know we get racism all around the world, but I don't allow that to hold me. Meaning that, I'm not going to say because of my complexion, my religion, or the way that I look, that I can't be successful in life. I can, because I have basically access to, of course, the internet, which isn't racist. Doesn't care who your family, parents are, doesn't care. Internet isn't racist. If you're good, put your stuff out there, tell your story, and you will definitely pop with time and patience. So that's how I look at it. So, and I really love the fact that, of course, when I see him holding that shield, I see myself, because originally I'm from Algeria, which is in North Africa. So I love it because it shows just like we have an image of people of color who are basically superheroes, like Anthony Mackie playing the Falcon, who's going to be, from what I can see, the next Captain America. And that impacts the whole generation of black children, black people from all around the world, and people from all around the world of color, and so forth. So it's something different. And I can't wait to see it. And I really hope we get to see Sam basically in the next Captain America movie or something like that, because ideally that would be the way to move forward. But that scene there was amazing. I could go on and on, but I really, really, really loved it. I never expected the aspect of race to be put in this particular episode, but I enjoyed it. It was one of the best episodes in regards to the essence and substance of what they put into this episode. And of course, seeing Bucky flirt with Sam's sister, Sarah, I was like, interesting, Bucky, you like her, huh? Sam was like, yo, don't flirt with my sister, bro. So quite interesting to see they actually get together. But it's quite interesting because I always assumed and thought that the Winter Soldier, well, Bucky Barnes would actually get with Black Widow, just like in the comics and so forth. But that's another conversation. But yeah, that moment was cool because it's nice to see the madness that Bucky's gone through, but he's finding happiness. And of course, the conversation that Sam had with Bucky, and literally saying to him, like, look, man, this is what to do to move forward, man. Like, don't beat around the bush. You got to put in the work. Put in the work, bro. Put in the work. So it's quite interesting. And of course, seeing with John Walker being discharged, no pay, no benefits, nothing, stripped of ranks and so forth. And then the woman mysteriously comes up to him, basically says, I know who you are. I know you took the super soldier serum. There's a lot of people who are interested in you. Answer your phone. And that goes back to the comics, of course, where Steve Rogers puts the shield down, walks away, and basically was it Iron Patriot? Super Patriot. I forgot his name, yeah. Super Patriot basically now becomes, or who's John Walker, becomes basically the next Captain America, but he gets a different suit eventually and gets a different shield, and he gets recruited by the government pretty much to take up the mantle as Captain America. So it looks like they've twisted the story a little bit more, because they have to, they change it up, because if you follow the comics too much, like it's too predictable, and yeah, we want to be surprised and so forth. So I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing John Walker's what John Walker goes through, how his character becomes basically more enhanced, and how he develops. And of course, these people who said they're interested in John Walker to recruit him, are they Hydra? Which goes to my point, like, is what do you call it? UK Garage. I'm a DJ. Sorry. Could it be Hydra that's pretty much recruiting him? Because in the comics we do have Captain Hydra. Steve Rogers becomes Captain Hydra, and obviously the real Steve Rogers comes out and fights him, and it's Cap versus Hydra Cap. So could it be Hydra that's recruiting him? Could it be Sword? Who knows? And what does basically the MCU hold for John Walker? Could he be the next Captain America in the MCU? And he turns good? Who knows? But that was a pretty cool moment to see his character development being developed, because I thought they were going to put him behind bars. It's quite interesting. No one knows he took the super soldier serum, because I think if they knew they did, the government would literally be all over him. So overall, man, I mean, as an episode, it was dope. It was amazing. Oh, and of course, literally, the Dora Milaje, the way Bucky went up to Zemo. Zemo was like, James, I'm not going to kill you. And I was like, wow, Zemo's changed. It looks like Zemo had his redemption. Like he's changed a leaf. Like he's put everything basically to the ground. He's like, you know what, I'm starting over. And it was pretty cool that Dora Milaje just took him, because it kind of adds to, of course, to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, to Civil War, where, of course, he was the guy that bombed the building, and, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa, his dad died. So, what's going to happen to him? Is he going to be, what's going to happen to him when he actually goes to Wakanda? And, of course, will we see more of Baron Zemo in the Black Panther 2? Because now he's pretty much become like a fan favorite. The dancing Zemo, his energy, the way he speaks, his vibe, he's become literally likable, just like Loki became likable through the MCU and so forth. So I super look forward to it. I can't wait, and I really loved it. I mean, I'm so grateful. Regardless if you love Marvel, hate Marvel, regardless if you love DC, hate DC, regardless if you think Marvel is better or DC is better, and we have that particular war between people, which doesn't revolve around the comics. It always revolves around the movies and TV shows and so forth, right? I'm very, very grateful that I'm actually getting to see the characters that I grew up reading in the comics on the small screen, and of course on the big screen. I think that's something basically that every single one of us should be grateful for, regardless of who you like. I'm trying to say we should all be grateful that we're getting these stories that have been told from these comic books into the small screen and big screen. And Marvel has done an amazing job for the last 10 plus years in telling a story that's really impacted and shifted people from all around the world. And I love it. I really, really do. So, I really enjoyed the episode. And Sam looks good holding the shield. Seriously. Like, Anthony Mackie holding that shield looks amazing. And the thing is, what I loved about this episode and seeing these Disney Plus shows is I have more appreciation and love for the actors and actresses. Like seeing Anthony Mackie, it shows his how he acts, his facial expressions, his energy, his vibe. His 007 suaveness. Like, you can tell he's a dope actor. Like, so it's allowed us to see more of these actors and actresses and how they actually do things when they actually get the spotlight. And of course, Sebastian Bass, who plays Bucky, has done an amazing job. Playing Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier. The last episode, basically, where we see Bucky going through his deprogramming and he's crying and he's tearing up. That was some Hollywood, like, Golden Globes. Give that guy an award, because he really smashed it. And the way he plays Bucky, his persona, his energy, his facial expression, the way he can switch from being Bucky Barnes to the Winter Soldier, just like when Baron Zemo took him to the bar, like the aggression, the intensity, he can switch between personalities, and his facial expressions are just amazing. So, like, I love it. I really, really do. And the guy that played Isaiah, and I really forgot his name, the black guy that played Isaiah. I mean, the way his emotion, his intensity, his acting style was amazing. It's so dope to see him basically portraying that character and really just going into himself and pulling that history of black culture and history and expressing it basically into what he went through as a character, as Isaiah went through and so forth. So it kind of hit home and it was well put together. But, give him props. Like, he really forgot his name, but he really smashed it as Isaiah. And I have a feeling there could be a backstory or a Marvel Disney Plus with him and his origin stories, or maybe a comic book, which I think Marvel will push out eventually. So, overall, it was such an amazing episode. To see that, like I said, to see the aspect of race being introduced into this episode was literally amazing. And of course, to see Sam and Bucky, like I said, dealing with their differences and actually squashing the beef and moving forward. And now Sam actually knows why he's going to take up that mantle, or why he's going to basically be the next Captain America and so forth. So it's quite interesting because, he's become his own man, which is what he said to Bucky. He goes, it's not about what people think or say about you, bro. It's about doing you and being you. Be the best person that you can possibly be. And that's a message that I say to everyone, regardless of your creed, race, gender, circumstances, financial circumstances, whatever it might be. As long as your mind is quiet and you're moving forward with the things that you love to do, whatever they might be, and you block out the noise, like Gary Vee would say, and you don't get high in your own supply or get too positive or negative when people leave you positive and negative comments, and you stay balanced, you know, and the noise filters away, your mind becomes sharp. You have that vibranium mind, becomes sharp and solid, and you can do whatever you want to do, because now you're listening to your own inner voice that's allowing you to move forward with yourself. So I loved it, and I'm repeating myself, but I love this episode. It was so well to put together. Like, just to see like the intensity of Sam training, trying to master the aspect of that shield, like, it was amazing. Him stepping up and actually becoming not the Falcon or the Winter Soldier, but literally becoming the best man he can possibly be. And of course, the reason I say that is because he's not following Cap's footsteps. He understands, like I said, the heritage and the culture what that shield represents. But basically, he's now taking it up to be the best person he can when he puts on that shield and he puts on basically that suit, because it's not the shield or the suit that makes Captain America. It's what you have literally in here that makes you Captain America. And, you know, Steve has that, Bucky has that, and of course Sam Wilson has that. And I look forward to seeing how his intensity, his passion, his drive, you know, ignites that energy and gives it basically life. So Anthony Mackie totally smashed it as you know, as the Falcon. Sebastian Baz smashed it as Bucky, and I forgot his name. The guy that played Isaiah smashed it. It's like I said, it's made me appreciate these actors and actresses more, because we get to see more of them. So I really hope there's a season 2 of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I really hope I really hope season 2 of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, if it does get made, will be called Sam Wilson, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So yeah, now I've seen Bucky and Sam, they have to be together all the time. Like, I think they make an amazing team. And off screen, you know, Sebastian Bass and Anthony Mackie, they really do really work well together in regards to the persona, energy. They can tell they have a good relationship outside of work, which makes work even easier for them when they're actually in work, shooting and doing their thing. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, if you basically, I don't know, whatever it might be, I guess the question is, what did you think of episode 5 of I keep saying Captain America, of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Oh, and of course, the most obvious thing is the question that I asked on Instagram a few days ago: who is the villain? Because it's not John Walker. It's not it's not John Walker. From what I can say. No. Who is it? Sorry, is it John Walker? Is it the Power Broker? Is it Agent? Is it Sharon Carter? Or is it somebody? Or is it that woman that basically approached John Walker? So who is the villain? Like, because I still do not believe it's Carly and her team. Yeah, they're doing their thing, but really? There's so much we don't know. Like, Sharon Carter's phone call. Who is the Power Broker? And, you know, I said to myself, like, I made a post and I said, can you imagine if the Power Broker is Sharon Carter and Wilson Fisk? In the comics, there's 2 of them. Daredevil crossover, who knows? But who is the Power Broker? So this show is going to give us, it's like there's more questions and answers, just like in Wanda and Vision, where everyone thought Wanda was the main villain, and at the end we saw it was Agatha. So it kind of has that same vibe, but from a more MCU action-packed, different point of view, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's the question that I want to ask, and I look forward to seeing what happens in next week's episode. And this episode was so cool because it was an hour long, man. Thank you, Marvel, for giving that to us. Much love and respect. But that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I guess the question is, again, what did you think of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier? What were your thoughts? What did you think of it? Favorite moment? Just what did you think about it, man? Just let me know in the comments down below.